We're going to give you those career wins a little later on the all-time list as Mike Whitmarsh puts the ball down. Once again, Hovland and Frohoff playing together for the first time. There's Hovland, and walking back to serve, a team that has played together 4 times. That's John Hanley in the white headband, his partner, Big Mike Whitmarsh, up at the net. Whitmarsh in orange. No score, 1 game to 15. And Hanley with a nice dig.
Got to hit that ball, Mike Whitmarsh. John Hanley's been playing great defense all weekend long, or behind and around the big block of Mike Whitmarsh. That ball just too tight to the net. I think the conditions, it's cool, it's out here in the low 60s, really might help a player like Tim Hovland, who's been out on the beach for so long and put in a hard weekend's work. Under the weather a little bit with the shoulder and the neck injuries that have been nagging him, and the cool weather's going to help him. He's working hard this weekend.
This will help both teams. Once again, St. John Smith and Randy Stoklos have won the winner's bracket. They are undefeated. We'll see them in the final.
Whitmarsh back to serve.
Big Mike Whitmarsh, former basketball player at the University of San Diego. He was Rookie of the Year last year. He's only 29, the oldest rookie in the history of pro beach volleyball. He was a basketball player, and they turned him into a volleyball player, and he's a very good one.
Come on, up the minute.
Ace serve for Mike Whitmarsh. Talk about Whitmarsh's attributes, Paul.
First, great athletic ability, 6'7", long arms, jumps well, but he's still raw as a volleyball player. You watch when he tosses jump serving. He could toss the ball about 8 feet higher. Start of the year ranked 29th and moving right on up. But he's got sweet hands for such a new player to the game, and his real strength is hitting and blocking at the net.
Now, Hovland tips one over the block. And, Paul, you said that the talk in the tent is Hovland does not have the speed on his hit today.
Well, with the shoulder, even though it was not his hitting shoulder. Let's watch his style right here. Hov, as they say, just cuffing the ball outside the block. And a lot of the players in the tent are saying, make Tim Hovland hit the ball hard. We don't think he can still bring the same heat as in months past before the neck and the shoulder injury.
Frohoff with the jump serve. And Hanley puts it away. John Hanley, 30 years old. An excellent all-around volleyball player. He might be the most versatile player on the beach, Paul.
Well, quick arm swing. He can play the right side, the left side, blocks when he has to, but really likes playing with Mike Whitmarsh as he gets lucky with a field goal here against Tim Hovland. He would much prefer at this stage of his career to lay back, play defense.
1-0 Hanley Whitmarsh, and Hov responds to the criticism.
Paul, you say I can't hit the ball hard. I'm going to get Whitmarsh right in the neck.
Hovland, 6'4", 200 pounds. Hov putting a little heat on this one.
There's the fake block going right at the big blocker up high.
And so Hovland will serve. You can see the consistency for Hovland. He's been one of the great players for 11 years since he's been on the tour.
Angle!
Whitmarsh, you heard angle call, but we didn't get it. Hov can score! And the fans are charged up at West Dennis Beach.
Well, Hov's been charged up all weekend long. He's been in a couple of deuce games, big games against his former teammate Mike Dodd, and here showing he can get up and still snap and cut cross court. But very, very close match in the semifinals against Hanley and Whitmarsh. Hanley and Whitmarsh winning 17-15.
Frohoff gets the roof on Whitmarsh. So Brent Frohoff, who occasionally will block, gets over pretty good on this one.
Does he get his hands over early? Brent is way back from the net, a foot off the net, but Whit manages to hit the ball right into him. Whitmarsh is big enough and strong enough to hit the ball over him.
2-1 is our score. And Whitmarsh off the call from Hanley with the cut shot. So Whitmarsh going over the top with the cut. And now John Hanley will put the ball in play. John married to Linda Robertson, the former great UCLA star. And you see Whitmarsh drafted by Portland. He was the last man cut by Minnesota 2 years ago, he told me. 1989, the Minnesota Timberwolves. Great serve, and chalk up the second ace for Whitmarsh.
2 points on the board for Hanley Whitmarsh, and both of them aces against Tim Hovland. Coming at you, not a very high toss, a little like Roscoe Tanner in tennis, and just rips it right up the line with good accuracy to the outside of Tim Hovland.
So Mike Whitmarsh, he missed one tournament this year. Ace again for Whitmarsh. So 2 to the outside of Hovland, and then the third right down the middle into the HUD Open. I'm Chris Marlowe along with Paul Sunderland. as action continues. And great crowd on hand to watch the best in beach volleyball. Bundled up just a bit because it is windy and chilly. The wind blowing towards the west. Let's take a quick look at the seedings. How accurate were they? Smith and Stokel's doing well. Hovland, Frohoff, Dry Steffes placed 5th. Johnson, Powers, Ludi's right on the money. Hanley and Whitmarsh doing better. Walmer, Jantz, Clark, Wirtz playing poorly this week. So Mike Whitmarsh with the serve. Whitmarsh and Hanley have now gone to the bad side. We'll explain more in a moment. Might be a point.
Come.
What a shot! Whitmarsh with the left.
Whitmarsh a little shaky offensively, getting stuffed early by Brent Frohoff, but has been serving very well, blocking, and here with a smart shot over the top of the block.
Mike Whitmarsh and John Hanley ahead 4-2.
Whitmarsh and Hanley serving Hov every ball now.
And Hovland thunders one down. Hovland and Frohoff have been very, very slow starters, as you mentioned, against Ludi's and Dodd. They've got behind 11-3 and then made the comeback, but it's very difficult to keep doing that.
They expend so much mental and physical energy.
Talk about the side disadvantage, Paul.
Well, right now, Frohoff and Hovland are on the good side. The wind blowing looks like about 15 miles an hour into their face. Really helps them in terms of executing the ball control.
Whitmarsh, the angle call, the wrong shot down the line. Frohoff has it, and he scores. You can hear Hanley calling out. That's twice. He's made the right call, but Whitmarsh has not clicked in.
You have to be listening for that call. You're concentrating on the ball, looking at the block, and as soon as you hear angle, you've got to chop that ball. Your setter knows much better where the defender is than you are. You're focusing on too many other things.
Frohoff, all of his wins with either Karai or Akatubby. And a poor play, mainly because of the wind. And Hovland and Frohoff
see how one team can look absolutely smooth and together on the good side and then have all kinds of problems on the bad side. We should try to keep track of points, good side, bad side, and the lead changes.
Frohoff to serve. He had hoped to play with Karch Karai, but apparently did not call Karch, and Steffes did. And another big block. This time Hovland. So Hovland stuffing Whitmarsh, and Frohoff are ahead by 1.
And that's 5 or 6 points in a row from the bad side. Brent Frohoff, high toss, rips it up the middle. And then Tim Hovland making the big move, faking, taking the line, and then jumping into the cross court.
This could be trouble. Wind blowing. And Hanley can't convert. So a big difference inside as Hovland and Frohoff go over to the good side and rack up some points. 6-4 is our score. Coming back after this. Rounds just moments ago, and one of the beach doctors working in the corner on Brent Frohoff. So Frohoff, I don't know, maybe he's tightened up just a little. You very rarely see players wearing T-shirts when they play, maybe tank tops occasionally, but it is cold and chilly here, and you can tighten up. 6-4 is our score, and Frohoff with a very, very poor attempt at a dig. Frohoff even
offering repentance to Tim Hovland. Hit that ball just to his outside. Got to play it with 2 hands, and Fro knows it.
So John Hanley, who will put the ball in play, and this crowd is jammed in here.
And having a great time.
They certainly are. Hovland taps it hard. The crowd loves Hovland, don't they, Paul?
Well, he's an entertaining kind of guy. Very controversial. Goes after the referees. Let him know.
To know Hov is to love him.
No, to not know Hov is to love him.
Sometimes. If you're a referee, you might disagree with that. Hovland's team ahead 6-4. And Whitmarsh, he may be tired. He's gotten a lot of serves, been doing a lot of blocking. Talked about his basketball playing ability. We mentioned he missed some tournaments earlier in the year.
Whitmarsh jumps extremely well for a big guy, but just rolls this one into the top of the tape and gets a little lucky for the side out.
Come on, no.
And the ball poked out of bounds.
That comes up wide.
So mentioning Whitmarsh's ability as a basketball player, he was paid $10,000 to play one basketball game in Germany this year. That's why he missed the Sacramento Open. 6'7", small forward, good shooter. He said, they paid me $10,000, Chris. I got 20, but we lost by 44.
They asked for a refund.
Yeah. Nice dig. Chance for a point. Not yet. Hobb with a low bump. And Frohoff hits it off Whitmarsh out of bounds.
Patented Frohoff takes the inside set and turns it down the line. Mike Whitmarsh reaching into the cross court and Fro snapping it down the line away from him.
Frohoff, who won his first professional tournament back in 1986 with Scott Akatebe. That was in Santa Cruz. Pro Tour going back to Santa Cruz this year. And Whitmarsh taps into the corner. So Whitmarsh going over the top.
For the high line. Sides out. Hanley will come back to serve.
So far, Whitmarsh has received 9 serve. John Hanley only 4. Whitmarsh getting much better at this part of his game.
And the wind is certainly a big factor here at West Ennis Beach. It's blowing east to west. And a ball bombed out of bounds. No touch. A point for Hanley Whitmarsh. How many points do you have to get on the good side?
6-6.
I think you got to get 4 of them.
So at least 3, probably.
Absolutely. If you only come over to the good side and get 2, you're in deep trouble. The wind continues to blow. It's shifting. It's changing. You can see the effect it's having on any kind of serve-receive side out.
Here comes Frohoff. And Frohoff drills another one out of bounds.
No touch.
So a couple of hitting errors, and in defense of Frohoff, it's tough to hit in the wind.
7-6.
And that one blew right out of his reach. So Frohoff, a couple of hitting errors. Unusual, and there's the wind blowing it out towards the water. East to west, but a little towards the water.
And one thing that does, that takes Hobbs' bump set way to the inside of Brent Frohoff, being right-handed, waiting for the ball to come across his body. A lot of sets dropping low and inside.
So far, most of the points scored on the good side. 9 big ones, and only 4 on the bad side. Interesting, when I first saw Hovland yesterday, Paul, he said, "How's your dream team doing so far?" I said, "It's not my dream team." He's referring to Karch and Steffes, of course. And if you just joined us and you're wondering about Karch and Kent Steffes, they finished 5th. Lost perhaps the pivotal match of the tournament to Hanley and Whitmarsh. Paul, you saw that one.
18-16 yesterday in very windy conditions. Already the players have been out here for nearly 18.5 minutes on our freestyle elapsed timer, but just a great match back and forth, and Mike Whitmarsh was tremendous blocking against Kent Steffes.
7-6 is our score. Frohoff out of bounds again. And Frohoff saying, "What the heck is going on?" Hovland. Let's listen. I'm not sure Hovland can tear that T-shirt. It's not one of those offshore terrible tank tops. But I'm not sure if he can rip his shirt in half.
This play is looking pretty good, even in the wind. Tough serve, good pass, pretty good looking set.
Sand timeout, first one.
And a sand timeout. The first one registered to Hovland and Frohoff. And Frohoff thinking, I just hit 3 balls out of bounds in the exact same place. The line moved, I thought it did, but they called it out. He's been playing well, played very well with Scott Akatebe. You think they had trouble breaking up, Paul? Because of Hovland?
They're very close friends, and they all practice together down at Marine Street. And when Hov heard from Kent, then the dominoes or the commonos, thanks to Karch Kurai, began to fall.
8-6, and Whitmarsh's serve has been a big factor so far. Dinks, and Hanley can't get there.
Surprised they didn't go back to Brent Frohoff.
Yeah,
the guy makes a couple hitting errors in a row. Keep the ball on him, make him think, keep the pressure. Going back to Hov, and he knows where he wants to go for the side out, gets the good call, and there's the roll. John Hanley, bothered by back problems all week long.
Yeah, he's wearing a back brace, I believe.
Yeah, not just a neoprene sleeve to keep his back muscles warm, a back brace. And John putting up with some pain out here, but making the sacrifice to go for the first prize money.
Hanley and Whitmarsh played last week in the Cancun International Open, so they weren't with us. They told me they lost to Montezuma's Revenge. As Frohoff hits another ball out of bounds.
Jack out of bounds, no touch, point on the board.
So Frohoff, 4 balls whacked out of bounds, and Hanley Whitmarsh in control. Looking good, 9-6. Sunderland semifinal action continuing. Hovland blocked by Whitmarsh. Way up high. Jamming.
Ball coming over the top of Tim Hovland's head, and Mike Whitmarsh had some deflections early, but that's his first stuff block. Timing perfect. They're up now 13-9.
John Hanley serving, trying to close it out on the good side. Off Witt, out of bounds. So Hovland hits hard. You can't count Hovland and Frohoff out. Boy, they made so many great comebacks today.
Well, earlier,
and yesterday.
Yesterday, they were down early, but today against Dodd and Ludes, they were way down. I thought the match was over. Frohoff got hot serving. They got into a pretty good side-out rhythm. Hov blocked a couple balls. They were actually playing so badly at one point during that match. Hov went over and, how should I say, he threw up on the sidelines. But, I mean, that's the kind of, not because they were playing that badly.
He barfed.
No, not because they were playing that badly. He's just not feeling very well.
Frohoff, big play here.
That way.
Got it!
Chalk up a point from the bad side.
10 looking at 13.
If they can get back to 13-12 with Frohoff's jump serving, they're in great shape. Brent Frohoff used to play the left and shows you that he can still chop cross court, this time against Mike Whitmarsh.
And Whitmarsh tapping.
Getting a good call from John Hanley. Good early call.
So Mike Whitmarsh, once again, the oldest rookie of the year last year. He's put up some big numbers. He got his team off to a great start with those early service aces. Not jump serving anymore, so he could be winded a little. Oh, another one! Whitmarsh.
Good to the point.
How many aces for Whitmarsh? What a hand, 4 aces.
And Hanley.
And both aces here coming late of the knuckleball variety. Hov with no chance whatsoever.
And a full timeout registered to Tim Hovland and Brent Frohoff. So Hovland, who last week and the preceding weeks played with Kent Steffes, playing this week with Brent Frohoff, down right now to John Hanley and Mike Whitmarsh, a team that had played previously 3 times, and as we mentioned last week, played in Cancun, Mexico. They got 4th in Cancun, Mexico. Cubans got 2nd and 3rd. Okay, don't forget, coming up after our semifinal, we'll talk to the winners. Our producer guarantees us women, women, women. Brent Frohoff in the mailbag with Paul Sunderland. And Randy Stoklos is going to show you how exactly to hit a jump serve. It's a beautiful feature. You won't want to miss that. We'll get to Sunday's stuff and camping in the tent. Yes, King 1 and King 2, St. John Smith and Randy Stoklos. They will be coming by for their mandatory appearance in the final.
Walmer and Jantz, 1 down in Cancun, played extremely well, $7,000 first prize. Hanley and Whitmarsh did not finish well, didn't make it out of their pool. 2 Cuban teams in 2nd and 3rd. Teams were also there from Canada, Mexico, the Dominican Republic, and Puerto Rico.
Whitmarsh will serve. This is first game point for Hanley Whitmarsh. Going to Hovland. Tap. Oh, Hanley was moving. Hanley was moving in the right direction, but Whitmarsh so big got a piece of it.
John, if Mike Whitmarsh doesn't touch that ball, if he's 6'6" instead of 6'7", his partner John Hanley's all over that thing. This isn't over.
Nope.
Ace here, go to the good side. Hovland and Frohoff not out of this.
Frohoff, right to Big Whit. And down the line goes Whitmarsh.
John Hanley makes the call to Whitmarsh very, very early. Yeah. I think Frohoff could tune into that call because Whit listens to him.
Wait for the call.
Wait for the call, stay in the I formation behind your blocker, listen to the call from the setter, and then break.
Second game point for Hanley Whitmarsh.
Probably going to Hovland again.
And the sand timeout. That should be his 4th. And that will do it. That's all the sand timeouts. I might mention one more interesting thing about that Cancun tournament. Hanley and Whitmarsh got sick. He drank the water, as Carlos Palomino told him not to do. Don't drink the water.
1 regular left.
And he got Montezuma's revenge, and he could not play very well, as you might imagine. Tough to play. So, John Hanley and Mike Whitmarsh to advance. Going to Fro. Hanley! Oh, couldn't get it. So Frohoff hangs on, and the crowd wants to see more. They want to see a comeback, and maybe they will.
I'm surprised that John Hanley didn't go to Tim Hovland.
I think maybe the thinking there, Hov is so tough. He doesn't, he's going to grind it out. He's going to hang in there, and maybe try Frohoff on the side that he did hit a number of balls out.
And why not with a 4-point lead? Worst thing that can happen is you get a side out and come back there on the good side.
Nice shot. Hovland nets. Why is Whitmarsh not setting with his hands? Is what I don't understand.
I think because of the wind. I just
think so?
Yeah, he's got a pretty good pair of hands for
Sweet.
such a big guy.
Yeah.
But I think in this wind, with this lead, he doesn't want to take any chances. He's on the verge of his best finish ever. They get through this match. He finished third with John Stevenson last year in Orange County.
Third chance. Mike Whitmarsh never been in a final. And Hovland being reminded he only has one timeout left. Trouble.
Here it is, angle.
This could be it. Whitmarsh. Yes! And Mike Whitmarsh,
Ladies and gentlemen, a nice
his partner John Hanley, they're going to the finals.
First time ever.
Okay.